There's a strange stillness that surrounds Oscar Piastri. Unlike the showman, the loud contenders, the drama-soaked legends of Formula One, Oscar never roared into the paddock. He slipped in. The media didn't notice, rivals didn't flinch, fans barely blinked. But by the time they looked again, he was already ahead. Oscar Piastri is unlike any Formula One driver you've seen. Not because he's fast, they're all fast, but because he has no presence. Until it's too late. He's been called a ghost, a robot, a polite assassin. But behind that cold exterior lies a story so surreal, so human, it rarely made it to the grid. This is the story of Oscar Piastri, and it doesn't start with racing. It starts with disappearance. Australia, suburban Melbourne, a place where you hear crickets more than engines, where heroes wear AFL jerseys, not helmets. Oscar Piastri was just a quiet boy who didn't speak unless spoken to. But inside his mind, whole racetracks played out. He built scale model cars, raced RC models, obsessed over gear ratios at 10 years old, not for fame, not even for fun, he just needed to understand. His parents thought it was a phase. Until one Sunday, Oscar walked away from a junior race podium without even smiling. Why didn't you look happy? Because it wasn't perfect. They knew then, this wasn't play, this was an obsession. By 13, he had gone to Europe, no friends, no relatives, just cold track mornings and pasta in hotel microwaves. His parents drained their savings, visa after visa, and the pressure? No one put it on Oscar, he carried it on his own. He didn't need to talk about pressure, he became it. F4, Formula Renault, F3, series after series. Oscar didn't just win, he silently dominated. No celebrations, no controversies, just cold, relentless precision. F3 champion, then F2 champion, back-to-back, unheard of. No one had done that since George Russell and Charles Leclerc, but even they had media storms. Oscar? Just a headline. Who is Oscar Piastri? He called it just racing, but it wasn't. Behind the scenes, his entire soul was collapsing into a single question. Will I ever get to drive in F1? Because despite everything, there was no seat. Alpine kept him in limbo. Teams didn't gamble. Sponsors wanted charisma, not quiet boys from Melbourne. But Oscar waited. He always waits. But behind him was McLaren and a man named Zach Brown. His teammate? Lando Norris. Media darling, blisteringly fast, adored worldwide. Everyone expected Oscar to fade, but by mid-season, he was matching Lando, beating him in qualifying, outlasting him in sprints. No rookie mistakes, no crashes, just clinical brilliance. But inside, Oscar was burning. He didn't understand fame, didn't like interviews, didn't care for flash, and yet cameras were everywhere. So he built his emotional armor. Deadpan humor, cold sarcasm, ice-like calm. Interviewer, energetic. Are you excited to race Lando again? Oscar, flatly. I guess. I mean, we'll be in the same car. But he wasn't indifferent. He was protecting something. His clarity. In Qatar, he broke through. Sprint race winner, podium in a McLaren. The ghost finally bled into the light. And he didn't flinch. Now it's 2024. Oscar Piastri is no longer invisible. He's feared. Charles Leclerc called him unbelievable. Alonso said he reminded him of himself. Lando Norris? Still fighting him every weekend. But Oscar doesn't care for validation. He doesn't race to prove something. He races to disappear inside it. When I'm in the car, nothing exists. It's just data, corners, timing. There's no room for emotion. And yet, this story is emotional, deeply. Because Oscar Piastri isn't cold. He's pure. He's the part of us that wants to do things perfectly, not for applause, but because we need to. He's the kid who didn't need noise. The teen who watched his friends vanish. The man who faced the grid alone and said, I am enough. In a sport built on chaos, Oscar Piastri is a ghost. He doesn't haunt the track. He owns it. And the future? it's his to vanish into. Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, even Verstappen. These are not just drivers. They're shadows Oscar must face, each one forged from fire, glory, or madness. But Oscar doesn't try to outshine them. He erases them. One qualifying lap at a time, one surgical overtake, one emotionless drive that breaks down even the boldest egos. There's a cold rage behind Oscar's eyes, not anger at people, at circumstance, the years lost, the disrespect, the being overlooked. He channels it through every apex. McLaren sees it. The engineers whisper it. The telemetry shows it. Oscar has something unteachable. Even when the car isn't fastest, Oscar makes it float. Thoughtful. He doesn't just drive the car, said one mechanic. He listens to it. He becomes it. There are moments, in the wet, under lights, late into the night sessions, where Oscar is more machine than man. And that scares people. Not because he's robotic, because he's inevitable. There's a moment, before the lights go out, before engines roar, where everything stops. And Oscar lives in that moment. Other drivers get anxious. They hype themselves up, fiddle with gloves, bite their lips. Rehearse starts. Oscar? He just sits, eyes fixed, breath steady. Because in the stillness, he hears it all. The engine, the gear shift, the wind, the ghost of every mistake. And that's why he almost never makes one. He enters races like a surgeon enters an operating room. Not to impress, not to win glory, but to leave nothing undone. Every corner is a test, every lap a thesis, every weekend a quiet war. In the heart of the 2023 season, from Singapore to Qatar, Piastri wasn't just good, he was untouchable. No rookie had ever shown such immediate adaptability. From high-speed street circuits to winding technical tracks, Oscar drove like he had been here for a decade. Engineers stopped comparing him to other rookies. They started comparing him to world champions in their peak. His qualifying laps were chilling. Flawless inputs, minimal steering corrections, perfect tire management. Watching telemetry, analysts said his braking patterns resembled Alonso. His corner entries echoed Hamilton. But there was something new, too. A robotic confidence that felt not human, not cold, but calculated. Like every move had already been simulated in his head 500 times. Oscar Piastri is still early in his career, but the story is already becoming legend. Kids in Melbourne kart circuits no longer scream for Ricciardo. They want to be silent, precise, like Oscar. Mechanics reference his data to teach newcomers. Older drivers don't talk about him much, because deep down they know he's the one. Not for PR, not for fireworks, but because he makes them all rethink what greatness looks like. In a world addicted to noise, Oscar Piastri is silence. But not empty silence, the kind before a storm. He's not here to entertain us. He's here to disappear inside perfection, one lap at a time. And the flame inside him? It doesn't burn for fans or followers or trophies. It burns for that one perfect race that only he will know was perfect. Thoughtful. Some drivers race to be remembered. I race because I can't not. Oscar Piastri. And maybe that's what makes him the future. Not the loudest, not the most loved, but the one who outdrove time itself.